And once again, I want to say greetings to each and every one of you, Aquaba, and welcome. Welcome to another round of Culturally Conscious Communications here on LIB Radio. It's Thursday, so that means it's time for another round of tech and future talk here on LIB Radio, LIB TV here on livinginblack.com. My name is Keedy Owadu, aka the Conscious Rasta, aka the brother from the future. Weekday mornings, you and I come together live here on LIB Radio, and we deal with culture, consciousness, historical perspectives, entertainment, economics, education, health, labor, law, politics, religion, family, conflict, future studies, Pan-African affairs, sovereign and sustainable development, all areas of human interactivity and development. Today's date is Thursday. It is the 12th of June, 2025 in the Western calendar. This corresponds to the year 6265 according to the Kemetic calendar, to which we have realigned our cultural clock. Welcome to the 7th millennium. You have found your family in a peaceful place here on LIB Radio, LIB TV here on livinginblack.com. I'm going to do things a little bit different today. And we're going to take on in real time a challenge that I have been looking at from the perspective of a clinical nutritionist. So I'm going to ask you to imagine yourself in this position. You are a client of mine, and we have to deal with what has been ailing you. Now, this is not going to be simple. In fact, this is one of the most complex situations I have encountered in my experience as a clinical nutrition following the practice of functional medicine. Now, I will openly admit I am still a student of this very early. Well, I've actually been studying it for a number of years, but I consider myself to be a student in an early practitioner's position. So let's go into this subject today. And we are live and direct. It's Thursday. I welcome each and every one of you into our listening audience. I'd love to hear from you today. Where are you at, listening audience? We'd love to know you are in the house. So please do speak up, identify yourself. Here is the topic. What is amyloidosis? What is amyloidosis? A functional medicine approach. Today on LIB Radio, here is a challenge that I am tasked to deal with. The client presents with a rare and life-threatening condition. He has the following symptoms or conditions: chronic kidney disease requiring dialysis, congestive heart failure, and now has developed symptoms of blood cancer, possibly drug-induced. The diagnosis he presents is called amyloidosis. This client has also stated that he has been a heavy consumer of meat throughout his life. What would be an appropriate functional medicine approach to all of this? Today, let's do a forensic examination of this disease, which, if untreated, will be fatal, will result in death at a young age. So we're going into this subject today. I welcome each and every one of you in our listening audience to join this conversation. You may want to offer solutions. I'm open. I'm listening because, hey, before today, I had heard of amyloidosis, but I didn't know how serious and how deep amyloidosis gets. So I did everything I can over the last 24 hours to pull up and research as much as I could about amyloidosis. Now, I will admit that I was still studying it up right until going on the air. But in going on the air today, I had a problem with my microphone and headset. And so, therefore, at the last minute, I had to reset everything, had to restart the computer because my computer had disconnected from the headphone and it needed a reboot to bring it all back together. So here's where we are today. And the first thing I asked when I heard about it, again, the client presented with chronic kidney disease, chronic kidney failure, congestive heart failure. He was also being treated for cancer, for blood cancer. So I had to ask a question because these are complex conditions that often coexist, chronic disease and congestive heart failure, and share a common pathophysical basis. But when the cancer got thrown in, I had to ask the question, is this one disorder or is this a collection of disorders that happens at the same time? What were the common ties to bring these all together? I could easily tie together chronic kidney failure and congestive heart disease. That would be a matter of the glomerular connections inside the kidneys, which are like the veins and corpuscles or the vessels throughout the body. They're clogged up and they're unable to transfer the blood through them. In fact, that's a chronic cause of kidney failure. And we could find certain disease conditions such as hypertension, high blood pressure that would be in common among these diseases. So the only thing that tied them all together, and I did say the client gave this to me, was amyloidosis. So there was the key tying these all together. And then I was able to do research. So chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure are two complex conditions that often coexist and share a common pathophysiological basis. Both conditions are characterized by systemic inflammation, oxidative stress, and dysregulation of the renin-angiotensin aldosterone system, RAAS. That system is responsible in no small part to regulating our blood pressure, which contributes to their progression and poor outcomes. The only diagnosis that ties these all together is amyloidosis. But is it one separate disorder or a number of disorders working in tandem? That was the question that I was faced with. And here's what I found out when I started exploring. And I'll be honest with you, I am very proud of myself for having uncovered this complex pathway. So let's go into it today. I hope we do get a good listening audience. I suspect I will not have much of a listening audience because the condition is rather rare. It's very complex and it is life-threatening. But we're going to do the best we can. If nobody else understands what's going on at the end of the day, I will understand it. And therefore, I will be a much more effective source of information for the client. Now, we did come to a solution, a very serious solution on this, and I'm going to ask everybody, please pay attention. Please do. I found functional medicine. I typed into an AI search. I want to know about a functional medicine and amyloidosis. Here's what came back. Amyloidosis is a rare systemic disease characterized by the deposition of insoluble, misassembled fibril proteins that interfere with normal tissue structure and function, leading to significant functional impairments. A functional medicine approach to aggressive amyloidosis emphasizes a holistic, patient centered strategy that addresses the root causes of the disease while supporting the body's natural healing process. That's why I always choose functional medicine as the approach that I will take, using clinical nutrition as my preferred weapon of choice. This functional medicine approach integrates conventional medical treatments with lifestyle modifications, nutritional support, and complementary therapies to optimize outcomes. In the context of aggressive amyloidosis, functional medicine practitioners focus on identifying and addressing the underlying factors contributing to the disease. This may include chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, immune dysregulation, and environmental toxins. By addressing these factors, functional medicine aims to reduce the burden on the body and improve overall health. For example, patients may be advised to adopt an anti-inflammatory diet rich in antioxidants, which can help reduce oxidative stress and support cellular health. This is going to tie in so much to what we have been doing since December 2024 here on LIB Radio. Let's go on. Functional medicine also emphasizes the importance of personalized treatment plans tailored to the individual's unique needs. This includes assessing the patient's genetic profile, lifestyle, and environmental exposures to develop a comprehensive care plan. For instance, patients with light chain AL amyloidosis may benefit from specific dietary interventions and supplements that support kidney and heart function, given the high prevalence of organ involvement in this form of the disease. In addition to lifestyle and dietary changes, functional medicine may incorporate targeted therapies such as intravenous vitamin C. I came up with that in my own head this morning. Intravenous vitamin C, glutathione, and other antioxidants to enhance the body's detox process and reduce inflammation. These therapies are often used in conjunction with conventional treatments like chemotherapy and immunotherapy to improve outcomes and reduce side effects. Functional medicine also places a strong emphasis. One second. Functional medicine also places, where is it at? One second. I changed this over to this other desktop. Okay, functional medicine also places a strong emphasis on monitoring and managing symptoms. Regular assessment of organ function, including cardiac and renal function, are crucial in tracking the progression of the disease and adjusting the treatment plan as needed. For example, the use of biomarkers such as NT-proBNP and troponin levels can help guide treatment decisions and monitor response to therapy. Moreover, Functional medicine recognizes the importance of mental and emotional well-being in the healing process. Stress management techniques, such as mindfulness, meditation, and yoga, are often recommended to help patients cope with the challenges of living with a chronic illness. These practices can also help reduce inflammation and improve overall quality of life. In conclusion, a functional medicine approach to aggressive amyloidosis involves a comprehensive, patient-centered strategy that addresses the root causes of the disease while supporting the body's natural healing processes. By integrating conventional medical treatments with lifestyle modifications, nutritional support, and complementary therapies, functional medicine aims to optimize outcomes and improve the quality of life for patients with this complex and challenging condition. This approach not only focuses on managing symptoms, but also on promoting long-term health and well-being. So that was the first AI response. And I will say it was quite comprehensive, but I need to know more. I want to thoroughly understand what is happening within this relatively young man's body. So I went even further. I went to another well-known search engine, Copilot, and I asked the same question. What is a functional medicine approach to dealing with aggressive amyloidosis? And Copilot came back with the following. A functional medicine approach to aggressive amyloidosis focuses on identifying and addressing the root causes of the condition while supporting the body's natural healing mechanisms. Amyloidosis is a rare disease characterized by the accumulation of abnormal amyloid proteins in organs and tissues, leading to progressive dysfunction. Conventional treatments often involve chemotherapy, corticosteroids, or organ transplants. But functional medicine offers complementary strategies to improve outcomes. Key principles of functional medicine for amyloidosis. The first, reducing inflammation. Chronic inflammation plays a role in amyloid protein accumulation. Functional medicine practitioners recommend anti-inflammatory diets rich in omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and antioxidants. Foods like turmeric, green tea, and leafy greens may help modulate inflammation. Optimizing detoxification. Amyloidosis can be exacerbated by environmental toxins. Functional medicine emphasizes liver support through detoxifying foods, cruciferous vegetables, garlic, and cilantro, and targeted supplementation with glutathione, NAC, and milk thistle. Gut health and microbiome balance. A compromised gut barrier can contribute to systemic inflammation. Functional medicine practitioners often recommend probiotics, prebiotics, and gut healing protocols, such as, they say, bone broth. I don't do bone broth, but I do a veggie broth, L-glutamine, and fermented foods to restore gut integrity. Personalized nutrition strategies. Functional medicine tailors dietary interventions based on genetic predispositions and metabolic needs. Low sodium diets and fluid adjustments may be necessary to manage symptoms. Stress and sleep optimization. Chronic stress and poor sleep can worsen amyloidosis symptoms. Functional medicine integrates mind body techniques like meditation, yoga, and sleep therapy to enhance recovery. Targeted supplementation. Functional medicine practitioners may recommend adaptogens, mitochondrial support nutrients such as CoQ10, alpha lipoic acid, and immune modulating compounds to improve cellular resilience. Heavy metal and environmental toxin testing. Some functional medicine clinics offer at-home lab tests to assess heavy metal exposure, which may contribute to disease progression. And when we look at the role of these amyloid plaques in its relationship to Alzheimer's disease and other cognitive disorders, we can see that heavy metal exposure is definitely one of about 14 different risk factors identified as being associated with developing Alzheimer's disease and dementia. Integrating functional medicine with conventional care. While functional medicine provides valuable adjunctive strategies, it is not a replacement for conventional treatment. Patients with aggressive amyloidosis should work closely with their healthcare team to integrate functional medicine approaches safely. Combining medical therapies with lifestyle interventions can enhance quality of life and potentially slow disease progression. And in most cases, I would really resist that, but I'm not. In the case of this aggressive amyloidosis that we're seeing, there's just no denying the client's going to have to continue with conventional medicine. Hey, in the short run, I have no real approach to chronic kidney failure. But in the long run, especially if caught early enough, I do know that the kidneys can be restored to full function without an organ transplant and without the patient remaining on dialysis. I know this as a fact. The close relationship between chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure is bidirectional, meaning that each condition can exacerbate the other. For instance, reduced cardiac output in congestive heart failure can lead to decreased renal perfusion, which can worsen kidney function, while impaired kidney function can lead to fluid overload and increased blood pressure, further straining the heart. This interplay between the heart and kidneys is often referred to as the cardiorenal syndrome. The cardiorenal syndrome, highlighting the need for a holistic approach to their management. The common thread among chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, and cancer lies in their shared risk and underlying mechanisms. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic dysregulation are common features of all three conditions. That was the question that I really wanted to ask. What is the common thread tying all these together? And it just gave me the answer. Common thread CKD, CHF, and cancer lies in their shared risk factors, and that's inflammation and underlying mechanisms. Chronic inflammation, oxidative stress, and metabolic dysregulation are common features of all three conditions. For example, patients with chronic kidney disease or congestive heart failure often have an increased risk of developing cancer due to chronic inflammation and immune system dysfunction. Additionally, the treatment of these conditions can sometimes increase cancer risk. The treatment for these conditions can sometimes increase cancer risk. For instance, certain medications used to manage chronic kidney disease or congestive heart failure, such as immunosuppressants or diuretics, may have carcinogenic effects. In fact, I wrote the book, came out very recently, called A Year Against Cancer. I'm very, very proud of this book. But the book does list some 70 or more medications associated with increased risk of developing cancers, including cancer chemotherapies such as tamoxifen. A functional medicine approach to managing chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, and cancer would focus on addressing the root causes of these conditions rather than just treating symptoms. This approach would involve a comprehensive assessment of the patient's lifestyle, diet, and environmental exposures. For chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure, this might include optimizing nutrition, managing blood pressure exposures, managing blood pressure, and reducing fluid overload. For cancer, this focus would be more on supporting the immune system, reducing inflammation, and promoting cellular health. Functional medicine practitioners might also use targeted supplements, such as antioxidants or anti-inflammatory agents, to support overall health and reduce the risk of disease progression. In addition to lifestyle and dietary interventions, a functional medicine practitioner would emphasize the importance of personalized care. This might involve more genetic testing to identify individual risk factors and tailor treatment plans accordingly. For example, patients with a genetic predisposition to chronic kidney disease or congestive heart failure might benefit from more aggressive monitoring and early intervention. Similarly, cancer patients might receive personalized treatment plans based on their genetic profile and overall health status. Overall, the functional medicine approach to chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, and cancer would prioritize a holistic, patient-centered strategy that addresses the underlying causes of these conditions and promotes long-term health and well-being. This approach recognizes the complex interplay between different systems in the body and aims to restore balance and function through a combination of lifestyle changes, nutrition, and targeted interventions. So we go on. I'm digging in. I found out now the pathway that I need to approach, but I want to know everything I can. We're almost halfway through today's class. It's not going to be an easy one, but I think it is so satisfying. And if you did see the pictures, let me show you the pictures that I put up for today. I'm going to show you the promotion for today. Bear with me. Settings over here. virtual background. I'm going to go here to the topic for today, which is here, and turn this virtual background off. And this is what we were dealing with amyloidosis. We see the various conditions up there on the page. It's really not a very attractive disease at all. Amyloidosis causes all these little spots to form across the body. It can trigger some really weird symptoms, such as if you see the eyes and the tongue in the middle of that picture, the eyes have very deep, dark circles around them, and the tongue, exaggerated blemishes. These blemishes appear on the legs, on the feet, throughout the whole of the skin, white spots appearing, including amyloids in the heart tissue, congestive heart failure. So amyloidosis is a very, very serious condition. And nothing I want to say, nothing I could say today would make anything light of what this condition is all about. So let's continue. There is more to learn. It's a very complex disease. We are today talking about amyloidosis, but we're talking about so much more. And I cannot overemphasize the point. Please, people, please, this is preventable. It's the lifestyle. I talked to the client, and I have another discussion coming up with him. And I talked to him about meat eating. And he said, yeah, I've been a meat eater. I eat my meats. And all of these nutritional interventions that we've mentioned so far, none of them talks about increase your meat intake. In fact, they say just the opposite. Increase your vitamin C, your polyphenols, your antioxidants, your anti-inflammatory foods. We're going to talk about more about that in a little bit. I do welcome you, our listening audience, to join the conversation. Is anybody in the house today? I'm not seeing anyone in the house. No one's even hitting the like button to show that you like what we are doing today. But I bet you do. And I bet you will. Let's continue. Here we are back on the document. We're again in Copilot. And this was an earlier inquiry that I had done using it. Chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, and cancer may seem like distinct conditions, but they share common underlying mechanisms, and functional medicine seeks to address holistically. These diseases often stem from chronic inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and oxidative stress, which contribute to systemic imbalances affecting multiple organ systems. So the common thread tying them all together, inflammation and oxidative stress. Chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, and cancer are all linked to chronic inflammation. Cannot overemphasize that point. Chronic inflammation, which damages tissues and accelerates disease progression. It's the same thing. I wrote the book, Living Superfood Life. It's over there on the bookshelf. And in that book, as one of the appendixes, I talked about all of the diseases associated with chronic inflammation. Let me read from the book. Chronic inflammation. So it is in the appendix. And I wrote also of the appendixes, I wrote appendix number 3, to meat or not to eat. Are humans natural meat eaters? And the answer is no. Absolutely no. I talked about longevity in animals. Which animals live longer, vegetarians or meat eaters? And it was clear, very clear. But the Appendix 1 was entitled Inflammation and Disease. And in Appendix 1, to the best of my abilities, I list a comprehensive list. The list has 161 entries on it. Inflammatory diseases and disorders. And when we look at what is on that list, we go to, these are all in alphabetical order. The first one of the 3 diseases and disorders that comes up is cancer. Actually, the first one might be amyloidosis. Let me see if amyloidosis is in here. Amyloid AL, Alzheimer's is in here. Ankylosing spondylitis. So amyloidosis is not listed in my book. I'm going to have to go back in and upgrade it and list amyloidosis. So in the next printing, amyloidosis will be in here. It's very critical. Inflammatory diseases and disorders, I list 161. Now it's going to be 162. But we talk about these various diseases. And the first one mentioned, I talked today about Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia, a general term for memory loss and other cognitive abilities serious enough to interfere with daily life. Neuroinflammation or inflammation in the brain has emerged as an important line of inquiry in Alzheimer's disease research. Next, I talked about cancer. Inflammation can become chronic if the cause of the inflammation persists or certain control mechanisms in charge of shutting down the process fail. When these inflammatory responses become chronic, cell mutation and proliferation can result, often creating an environment conducive to cancer development. I do talk about inflammation of the heart. It's in various positions here. Cardiovascular diseases. Chronic inflammation is a major contributor to heart disease. Patients with inflammatory conditions have an increased risk of coronary heart disease, stroke, and peripheral vascular disease. That would also include cardiitis or myocarditis, not cardiitis, carditis or myocarditis. Inflammation of the heart is most conveniently broken down into 3 categories: pericarditis, inflammation of the pericardium; myocarditis, inflammation of the muscle tissue of the heart muscle; and endocarditis, inflammation of the endocardium. And that would also include chronic obstructive disease, which would come under the general classification of those we just mentioned. And it also, we're talking about chronic kidney disease. And I'm not seeing it under chronic disease. Let me see if it's under kidney disorder. Otherwise, I may have to go back in and significantly upgrade this book just on having found this one diagnosis of I'm talking about, what's the subject for today? Endometriosis, amyloidosis. Yeah, because I'm not seeing anything under chronic kidney disease. Let me look at nephropathy. It may be there. Nephritis, also called glomerulonephritis. Nephritis is a group of diseases that cause inflammation, swelling of the nephrons. This can reduce your kidney's ability to filter waste from your blood. So that was the symptom of what the client was going through. And unfortunately, he is currently on dialysis, but he has not been on dialysis for very long. That's very key and critical. He's not been on the dialysis for very long. So that is my book on inflammation. 161. I'm going to upgrade the book later today and add congestive heart failure. I'm going to add amyloidosis. And I'm going to add chronic kidney failure. Now, I have written about chronic kidney failure other times as well. That's in the book, Living Superfood Solutions, Chronic Kidney Failure. So it is critical that we have these in our record. I see my brother is in the house, Ed L. Mack. I want to say greetings to you. I just want to click on your link here. Thank you, Brother Ed L. Mack. He gives a thumbs up. And I know Brother Ed is very serious about what we're talking about today. And very serious about keeping himself as healthy as possible. I just want to take a moment here, and then I'm going to go back to my text because I still got a lot more to read. But I want to alert you all to it's almost summertime. And you know what that means around here. Summertime means it is time for us to do our summer solstice detox cleanse. So 10 days from now, 8 days from now, on the first day of summer, which is the 20th of June, we're going into it. We are going to do our detox fast. And personally, I look forward to it. I always look forward to it. I look forward to not only cleansing my body, detoxing my blood, my getting out the heavy metals, getting out, cleaning my liver up, cleaning my colon, kidneys, liver, spleen. Detoxing, I will be removing excess weight from my body. And every day of the detox fast, or every 2 days during the 28 days of my detoxification fast, every 2 days, I increase my exercise reps I do in the morning by another. Every day, it's every 2 days, I increase them by 5. So by the end of the 28 days, I will be doing over 200 sit-ups, knee bends, leg lifts as part of my morning exercise routine. And I do increase my evening reps or afternoon reps. I've been doing them earlier in the day, afternoon reps of my push-ups. So by the end of 28 days, I will be a beast. And that's a good thing. So welcome all of you. If you want to join the detox fast, let's do it as a group. Does that make sense? That makes a lot more sense than just me doing it alone. Let's do it as a group. You don't have to do as many sit-ups and push-ups and all those things as I do. You have to do it according to your best. I am going to push you to do your best, or convince you to push yourself. So if you do want to join our detox, there is a discount. It's 25% discount I'm doing on this detox fast. If you go to lsfdetox.com, you will learn about it. You can go to http lsfdetox.com F stands for Living Superfood Detox.com to join our detox program. And there is a 25% discount for those who join early. 25% discount. I highly recommend it. You at least want to do this one time in your life. You may want to be like me and do it 4 times a year. Keeps me feeling young, y'all. You know what I'm talking about. So that's that. Let's go back into our research today. We have been talking about what is amyloidosis. Give me a functional medicine approach to dealing with it. Common thread, inflammation, and oxidative stress. Chronic kidney disease, congestive heart failure, and cancer are all linked to chronic inflammation, which damages tissues and accelerates disease progression. Oxidative stress, caused by an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants, contributes to cellular damage and dysfunction. 2, metabolic dysregulation. Insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome are common in chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure, increasing the risk of cardiovascular complications. Cancer cells thrive in altered metabolic environments. In fact, I personally call cancer one of the 10 metabolic syndrome diseases, as well as non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, including the gut disruption of the gut microbiome. I consider cancer and progressive nephropathy, meaning kidney failure, I consider these all to be metabolic syndrome diseases because they are part of the logic of the body called the metabolism, which is how you and I process foods to manufacture molecules that will then function inside our body. Metabolic. So metabolic dysregulation is what this is called. Insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome are common in chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure, increasing the risk of cardiovascular complications. Cancer cells thrive in an altered metabolic environments, often relying on glucose fermentation, the Warburg effect, rather than normal oxidative metabolism. Number 3, immune system dysfunction. Chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure impair immune function, making individuals more susceptible to infections and cancer. Cancer often arises due to immune evasion, where malignant cells escape detection and destruction by the immune system. Every day, all day long, our body fights mutated cells inside the body. These would become cancer cells. But in cancer cases, the immune system is unable to keep up with it until finally the mutated cells take over the body and metastasize and can therefore become life-threatening. We also got to watch feeding this dysregulation. We feed metabolic dysregulation with the junk food, the crap food, the excess sugar. The American diet is horrible, 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 horrible. Number 4, endothelial dysfunction and circulatory issues. Chronic heart failure, congestive heart failure, and chronic kidney disease often both involve vascular dysfunction, leading to poor circulation and increased cardiovascular risk. Cancer can exploit abnormal blood vessel growth, angiogenesis, to sustain tumor growth. So the cancer essentially hijacks our blood vessel system. Angiogenesis, it hijacks it and takes over the blood because the cancer wants to be fed oxygen and nutrition rich blood. The nutrition, unfortunately, is the bad nutrition that causes the cancer. What is a functional medicine approach? Focuses on the root causes rather than symptoms. It aims to restore balance through personalized interventions. Here's how it would approach this combination of conditions. Number one, anti-inflammatory nutrition. Number two, gut health optimization. Number three, detoxification and mitochondrial support. Number four, stress management and sleep optimization. Number five, personalized supplementation. Number six, exercise and movement. Functional medicine views chronic kidney disease and congestive heart failure and cancer not as isolated diseases, but as manifestation of systemic imbalances. By addressing inflammation, metabolic dysfunction, and immune dysregulation, this approach aims to optimize health and prevent disease progression rather than merely managing symptoms. And then I gotta say, this, from my perspective, appears to be a meat eater's disorder and an anti-inflammation emergency. A meat eating disorder and an inflammatory emergency. And we're going to go forward. I have one more document. A little bit more. Got another 10 minutes or so. I got a lot of reading to do. And I understand people generally are not necessarily interested in this. This is Holistica 44. Peace, Kitty. This is Shakir. Who is this? Shakira, the iridologist you interviewed a few years ago. I've been researching amyloidosis and its significant relation to the liver and protein misfolding. That is very, very true. The liver didn't come up much in here, but the protein misfolding is definitely part of what I researched. And I would not deny at all your finding that it is linked to the liver, because we can see all of the other things that are in this. The liver does share in common the blood, cleansing of the blood, the impact of heavy metals. So Holistica, Shakira, the iridologist, I would love to interview you again. Contact me with your latest findings on how we can remain optimally healthy. Sister Shakira. And I am at, you can text me, text 702-580-0662 with your latest information. I really, really do appreciate, love you being in this family. Much respect to you, beloved. Much respect. Here we're going to go forward. We are dealing with amyloidosis and the functional medicine approach to all of this. And iridology, yeah, that's an alternative therapy. It's not necessarily classified as functional medicine, but functional medicine and iridologists highly respect one another, no doubt. Highly respect one another. We continue reading on everything you need to know about LECT2 amyloidosis. This article was written by Markham Hyde in Everyday Health, November 15, 2022. And I'm going to post up this link so that you can have access to it as well. And this article, this link is right there. I'm going to press this up here for our Facebook family. And I'm going to put it on the Facebook. Did I say Facebook? I meant YouTube family. And I'm going to put it up on Facebook as well on today's broadcast, which nobody even, well, no. There are a couple of people did hit the like button. There are 2 comments. Holistic Healer is in the house. And I was just researching amyloidosis. It refers to amyloid production when the liver producing TTR proteins deforms, causing multiple proteins to form amyloids. Multiple cellular damage occurs systemically in this patient's case. The damage is mainly in the heart, nerves, kidneys, and blood. Would love to dive into this deeper. Thank you, holistic healer. You are awesome. Let me hit the love button. That is awesome. I really admire and appreciate people who have this incentive and are self-motivated to want to know more about how to keep themselves healthy. I cannot say it enough. Enough respect to you, beloved, and for being here. Let's go into this article. Everything you need to know about LECT2 amyloidosis by Markham Hyde. In 2007, a group of American researchers discovered a new, very rare type of amyloidosis, one that targets a person's kidneys. Like other forms of amyloidosis, this newly discovered type involves the improper folding of protein molecules. This improper folding leads to harmful buildup of amyloid, which is the name for the fibrous clumps of protein molecules that then accumulate in the body. LECT2 amyloidosis usually affects the kidneys and may be confused with other types. This new form of amyloidosis is thought to involve a type of blood protein called leukocyte chemotactic factor, leukocyte chemotactic factor 2, LECT2, which is made in the liver and circulates throughout the body. Scientists are still working out what role LECT2 plays in our bodies, but current research suggests it plays a part in immune function as well as many other physiological processes. The word leukocyte refers to white blood cells that help defend the body from harmful invaders. There is some evidence that the LECT2 protein is involved with cell growth and repair, but further research is required to understand its specific function in the cell. LECT2 is a unique protein in that it can form amyloid deposits even in its unmutated form, according to a 2022 review. LECT2 amyloidosis, also known as ALEC-T2 for short, is considered a systemic form of amyloidosis, meaning it is not confined to one part of the body. Thanks to the leukocyte chemotactic factor 2 circulating throughout the body, it can cause amyloid buildup in someone's liver, spleen, colon, and adrenal glands. But in a majority of cases, ALEC2 causes the accumulation of amyloid in the kidneys, though doctors aren't sure exactly why this happens. And to me, it's kind of obvious. This is a blood-borne issue, and because the LECT2 is using the blood as a vesicle for when it's normally working to be rebuilding cells, well, now in this abnormal version, it's invading the cells and it's creating these threads and these buildups that are problematic. In the majority of cases, ALEC2 causes the accumulation of amyloid in the kidneys, though doctors aren't exactly sure why this happens. Because another more common form of amyloidosis, known as AL amyloidosis, can also cause kidney problems. There's evidence that ALEC2 is sometimes misdiagnosed as the AL type. This is a problem because AL amyloidosis is occasionally treated with chemotherapy, something that won't help people with LECT2 amyloidosis, which can be very harmful. That's a very important paragraph as well. There are no set figures on the number of patients with LECT2 amyloidosis, but the disease is thought to be quite rare, accounting for approximately 3% of all amyloid cases. Men and women are affected equally. However, it does seem to be more common among people with Hispanic ancestry. Though doctors have diagnosed ALEC2 in patients as young as age 43, the average age of diagnosis is 66 years old. Only a very small number of people have ever been diagnosed with ALEC2 before age 50. Fortunately, the prognosis for ALEC2 is better than that of AL and AA types. That said, the kidney is the most commonly involved organ in ALEC2, and when affected, ALEC2 can result in nephrotic syndrome or kidney failure if not treated. The most common symptoms of LECT2 amyloidosis are kidney problems. Because LECT2 amyloidosis can cause problems in a number of different organs, its symptoms come in many types and levels of severity. But the most common symptoms of ALEC2 are related to kidney dysfunction involving nephrotic syndrome. These symptoms include high levels of protein in the urine, high cholesterol levels, low blood protein levels, and swelling in the arms and legs. LECT2 amyloidosis is diagnosed with urine analysis and kidney biopsy. Most ALEC2 patients end up seeing a doctor because of kidney-related complaints like those mentioned above. Fatigue, high cholesterol, swelling of the limbs, and other symptoms associated with kidney damage. These sorts of complaints lead to a urine analysis. If that analysis reveals that a patient has high levels of protein in their urine, Your doctor may want to examine the type of protein found in the urine. If necessary, a follow-up kidney biopsy may reveal the buildup of amyloid. While these initial steps can help a doctor diagnose a patient with amyloidosis, more complicated testing is required to identify ALK2. All of these tests involve closely examining the biopsy tissue to determine what type of amyloid they contain. More research is needed to better identify treatments for LECT2 amyloidosis. There are no treatments specifically designed for LECT2 amyloidosis. Most patients are treated with diuretics and other medications that help manage urine production and body fluid levels. Low sodium diets may also be helpful because they reduce the body's retention of water. People with the disorder are told to limit their fluid intake to about 50 ounces, which is far less than what a person would be taking. A normal, healthy person should take over twice that amount. And to spread that intake evenly throughout the day. In severe cases, ALK2 patients may require dialysis, blood purification, or a kidney transplant. Because ALK2 amyloidosis is a relatively newly discovered disease, doctors are still trying to get a handle on its specific symptoms, its progression, and the best methods of treatment. A lot more research is needed, but scientists and doctors are working to better understand the disease. And then, one more time, I'm going to ask the question, what would be a complete functional medicine approach to combating amyloidosis? A complete functional medicine approach to combating amyloidosis begins with a comprehensive evaluation that seeks to identify the underlying factors contributing to abnormal protein folding and deposition in tissues. Rather than merely treating symptoms, functional medicine digs deep into an individual's unique biochemistry, environment, genetics, and lifestyle. This personalized strategy sets the stage for a multi-pronged intervention plan. And it goes on, it gets a little complicated here. I'm just going to give you the headlights. Comprehensive assessment and testing. Genetic testing might uncover predispositions that shift the balance toward amyloid formation. Diet and nutritional interventions. Diet plays a pivotal role. Nutrient-dense, anti-inflammatory eating plan is recommended. Number 3, targeted lifestyle modifications. Amyloidosis can lead to fatigue and decreased organ function, rendering everyday stress more burdensome. Detoxification and organ support. Given that amyloidosis involves the deposition of misfolded proteins, supporting the liver's detoxification pathways and optimizing kidney and heart function is paramount. In essence, a complete functional medicine protocol for amyloidosis involves personalized diagnosis, targeted nutritional strategies, lifestyle adjustment, and detoxification regimens that work synergistically. By addressing the root causes and supporting the body's inherent healing mechanisms, this integrative strategy aims to stabilize the disease progress, mitigates its symptoms, and improve overall quality of life. Traditional Chinese medicine does not view amyloidosis as a single disease entity, but rather interprets it as a manifestation of deeper imbalances, such as blood stasis, phlegm turbidity, and the dysfunction of vital organs like the spleen, liver, and kidneys. In traditional Chinese medicine theory, These imbalances disrupt the smooth flow of qi and blood, creating conditions that are ripe for the abnormal deposition of proteins. As a result, treatment is inherently individualized, with the goal of restoring harmony to the body's internal environment. A cornerstone of the traditional Chinese medicine approach is a careful evaluation of a patient's overall pattern or syndrome differentiation. Practitioners assess various signs and symptoms, including the patient's tongue appearance, pulse quality, and overall energy levels. For instance, a red tongue with a thin coating might indicate excessive heat, while a wiry or choppy pulse could be a sign of blood stasis. When amyloidosis manifests in areas such as the skin, primary cutaneous amyloidosis, the diagnosis may lean more towards stagnation or phlegm accumulation that impedes normal blood flow and tissue nourishment. And it goes on and it goes on. I am kind of at the end of my conversation for today, as it's talking about very specifics. And it does talk about top herbal supplement recommendations for treating amyloidosis: curcumin, boswellia, amvantantak, churna, traditional Ayurveda medicine. Talks about green tea extract, a very powerful catechin in antioxidant. Additional herbs with supportive roles include astragalus, ashwagandha, ginger. Each of these is part of a broader strategy at rebalancing the body's internal environment. While these herbal supplements are promising as part of a comprehensive treatment plan, they should complement, not replace, conventional therapies. Careful monitoring by qualified healthcare professionals is essential when integrating herbal regimens into the management of amyloidosis. So that takes us to the end of today's study. I thought it was a good day. I thought it was a very good day. And I do encourage each and every one of you to learn more, to study more, learn everything that we can learn about what is amyloidosis. And Holistica 44 is in the house. Received. I will be reaching out to you today. I'm grateful for your work. My mother had all your books while I was growing up. That is so beautiful. So we are in the second generation now. That is so wonderful. Let's talk and let's continue this dialogue about what do we know about amyloidosis. I'm going to be building this protocol now for this particular client. And I'm going to present it to the client and ask them if they do want to participate in it. We're going to do the best we can. You know something? The best that we can do is actually pretty doggone good. You've been tuned in to LIB Radio, LIB TV, livinginblack.com. I encourage you to join us beginning June 20 for the 21-day Living Superfood Group Detox Fast. It's going to be very productive. And I do encourage you to take what we do here on LIB Radio quite seriously. We are learning and we are teaching on how to maintain your own optimal health and not have to always revert to the doctor. for what you know you will need to keep yourself strong. And on that note, I want to thank you all for all you do, for all we do. We are so grateful. On your favorite, we aim to be your favorite. We are LIB Radio, LIB TV. We are living in black.com. Peace and prosperity to each and every one of you.
What do you call a legend in his own time? I don't know. What? John. You can do whatever you want to do. Anything you want, you can do. You can ride a tiger who won't look up. Anything you wish to be true. You can watch the world as it passes. You can make it stop for you. You can stay at home or brave a storm where the blizzard blows. You can dance around in the rain or watch from the window. You can lay in bed and look up and all rise and shine. You can take whatever comes around, but please don't take what's mine. You can do here on the Children's Hours. This is the
Children's Hour. I'm Katie Stone, and the kids crew and I are at Outpost and online. Hello, everyone. And who's with us today?
Hi, it's Lemonade.
Hi, it's Limonada.
Hi, it's Opu. Hi, it's Kyview. Hi, it's Lucas D.
Hello, it's Amadeus.
Hi, it's Isa.
Hi, it's Kodia.
Hi, it's Ruby. What's up?
A legal group for prisoners and detainees, along with 5 other charitable groups across the Middle East, Africa, and Europe, accusing them of supporting Hamas. I'm Christina Onnested, reporting for Pacifica Radio.
My name is M1. I'm half of the legendary Tell It Like It Is